Hello and welcome to a new episode of Morgana Radio, where I, your host, Morgana Ray, interview the world's most fascinating thought leaders on money, love, and magic. And I have to say that so far I have been hand selecting every guest based on long-time personal experience of who this is over the long haul, not just the pretty pictures on Facebook. And I have known Lorrie Morgan-Ferrero for at least 13, 14 something years. And what is exciting about, there are a lot of exciting things about Lorrie, Miss red-haired copy editor. She was the first female copywriter that I knew who broke into the big leagues of a really male profession of this whole male copywriting by men, for men, online. I have to say, I paid a copywriter $6,000 back in, I think, 2006 or 7 to, I was selling a program to female spiritual life coaches. My avatar wore purple silk and crystals and felt guilty about charging money for her talents. And the first line of this guy's copy was, "Dear cash hungry entrepreneur." Oh, so so those of you who are listening on iTunes, you really need to be also tuning in and seeing the video of this interview at morganaradio.com. So Lorrie Morgan-Ferrero is an anomaly in the marketing world. She's considered an industry trailblazer in the world of emotional response copywriting and marketing. And she believes that women, hello, remember us, naturally make better marketers. So Lorrie first founded her company, Red Hot Copy, back in 1999 out of an effort to work anywhere, raise her family, and still make a good living. From the moment she discovered the marketing genre, Lorrie was drawn to the edgy conversational language and the winding persuasive arguments. After studying closely with a big bunch of guy legends like Dan Kennedy, John Carlton, and Gary Halbert, she established those marketing formulas. She took those established marketing formulas and added her own conversational rapport into the mix and took off. And again, she became the first top paid, top result getting female copywriter that I've seen and kind of led the trail for the women who followed her. Today, she has expanded her repertoire to include other female-centric ventures, like her informative blog and podcast site, Red Hot Factor. We'll have a link to that at morganaradio.com with her gift and anything else that you want to get access to her for. And so Red Hot Factor is jam-packed with interviews, articles, and latest trends for selling in the 21st century. And this is one of the reasons that I asked her to be on the show, is she's also globally respected for her program, The She Factor, which has trained thousands of business owners since 2006 on how to find, catch, and keep their share of the female market. Again, remember, hello, we're here too. Over the years, Lorrie has left her footprint in the direct response marketing world with many live events and award-winning home study courses. And she's also the proud author of the original book, The She Factor, which you can find on Amazon. So welcome, Lorrie. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's so great to see you. Usually we only see each other at live events, even though we live in the same town. It's crazy.
I know it's, but thank God for the internet.
Totally.
And again, I hope you guys who are listening are tuning in to see just how glammed up and beautiful Lorrie is.
I have to give a little backstory, Morgana, because I am a little dressed up because I know I'm going to be, on camera. But my other camera was on my computer. I was out of sync, and there's all these pathology things that can go wrong. And so we set up this whole brand new thing that I'm doing off my iPad, off of Skype with a nice mic. I'm so excited. I'm so baffled and humbled by how much technology and connection that we have nowadays. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and for those, before we hit the record button, the iPad had a tendency to fall forward and flash her cleavage. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but check out the video just in case. So let's dive in. I'm really curious about how you as a woman got into copywriting and what that means for women in business. So starting with you, how did you get into copywriting? Why?
Well, first of all, let me tell people what copywriting is, because I didn't know what the heck it was when I first started doing it. I have a journalism background and an acting background, but I had never heard of copywriting. I've seen it, but I didn't know that that's what it was called, and that it's this huge genre that was all about sales. It's about benefit to your end user, your target market. It's about solving a problem, basically. So it's really important if you're in business of any kind, because you have some sort of what you're doing with the money, and what so many of us are doing is literally making a business to solve a problem. And so you've got to be clear on how to do that online, and now on video and social media and in emails and all these different places. You really have to be clear on what your message is. And so how I got into it was I was marketing myself as a freelance writer, right? So I was doing press releases and even admin stuff. I didn't care. I just wanted to work from home because my kids were young, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I would take any project pretty much. And this one guy got a hold of me and asked me to write 52 autoresponders. And I'm like, what is an autoresponder? Seriously. And he showed
So what is an autoresponder for the person listening who doesn't know? Yeah.
when you send out an email, or there's some sort of an internet transaction or anything, then some software automatically sends you a pre-written email that tells you what to expect, and that congratulations, you've done X, Y, and Z. You're going to be a part of my community, or whatever it is. And I found out also early on that autoresponders are really important to growing your tribe or your list. I don't like calling them my list. I don't know about you, but they're not a list to me. They're people, that it's not just this just, I don't know.
Oh, it's like I think of it as kind of Dick Wars, like how big is your list?
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. That's one of the things that I've learned, is that men use a certain amount of war language and aggressiveness that does not appeal to women. Oh, I know. Oh, stop. Clutch my pearls. But it's something, I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, I like the way you described that. That's very funny, with my big list. And so I got this assignment, and I fell in love with the style of copywriting, because copywriting is like a one-on-one conversation, really, when you're talking to somebody. If you do it right, you don't want to talk at somebody or tell them how great you are all the time. You want to come to them where they're at, like a friend, like somebody who's here to help them, and give them information, all those sorts of things. And so I fell in love with the style, because as a journalism major, you can't have incomplete sentences, and you can't start with prepositions, and it's very non-conversational. So it was really freeing to learn how to do copywriting. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be the best freaking copywriter there is, because this is great. And so this is the early 2000s, when you and I were like pioneers, right, in the internet Wild West. And so there were really no people around to mentor you. I mean, there were a few people if you knew who to get in with, or you went to an ad agency and you were a copy cub. But there really weren't programs like there are now. And so I had to really focus on deconstructing a sales letter by looking at what was already done, that was out there, and figuring out where the sort of the beats were, where the bullets were. And I saw, the more I started looking at it, I started seeing this sort of skeleton underneath all the copy. Even though the words could be similar, there was the structure. And when I realized that, I actually started creating my own product for myself so I could go back and do more copy and deconstruct things. And that was when I started discovering Dan Kennedy and Gary Halbert. Gary Halbert was like a god to me. If you ever read his stuff, it's very irreverent, and he's passed sadly, but it was the kind of copy that you can't stop reading. You just want to read every single word. And I wanted to write like that. And I learned how to write like that. I call it testosteronal copy. But it was just like in your face and slaughter them and massacre and blah, blah, blah. All this war language, right? And I was having a ball because it's so different than who I am as a person. And then I started having live events, and that was when women in particular started coming up to me and saying, we love you, and you have a nice style and a nice touch, but we hate all that hype copy, and we don't. It just doesn't work for us. We won't read it. And so I went back to my mentors, who were these legends, who I love death to death. And crazily, I mean, I learned critical lessons from them. So I'm not dissing on them at all. But I went back to them, and they all said, "Never mind. None of the women are going to buy anyway." Can you believe that? I know. And so
from them, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it really made me kind of pull back and go, wow, well, these are the greatest of all time, and they've studied the greatest before them. Who am I to question them? And it took me about a good year of doing research to find out that, oh my God, not only are women making the business buying decisions, but we are, for the first time in history, in the past, I would say 5 to 7 years, something like that, we are way ahead of men as far as economics go, as far as opening new business goes, as far as being misunderstood by advertisers and trying to just kind of lump us in as one segment, women. It's like how many, when you just put men together, there's not just one segment that there are men. There's so many different areas that we're in, and both men and women, right? And so it's really, really important to be able to connect with them. I just lost my train of thought.
I'm with you there, sister. I love what you said about, well, men get to be unique and varied individuals, and then women are like a uniform special interest group.
Yeah, right? No, that's not right at all. We're mothers, we're blue collar workers, white collar workers, entrepreneurs, Fortune 500 owners. We're cat ladies. We're like
Vegans, yeah, right.
everything. There's so many little areas that make a huge difference, and so it's really important to not only reach our special interests, but it's also, it works for men too. Like if you talk to men in a sales way, out of respect, and try to make an emotional connection, which is the main key between masculine and feminine copywriting, is making that emotional connection, because we are natural. Women are built to be communicators and to be the village and to be caretakers. Of course, there's exceptions, but if you think back to hundreds of thousands of years ago when we were being created as a species, a lot of our DNA, a lot of our brain power was given to certain aspects of our roles. It's just the way it is. There are certain gender roles, and they did change the way our brains work. For example, men focus on one thing at a time. They use one lobe of their brain at a time. Women are multitasking because we use both lobes at the same time. we're trying to, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for our toddler. We're talking on our phone. We're, balancing the checkbook, feeding the dog. There's like all the, even way back in the caveman times, we are looking around, making sure that our village is connected, that we're close with the other women. So, for protection, because we are the smaller of the species generally. So those things, even though we don't think about them, they really make a huge effect on a subtle but important level when people are making buying decisions.
And our measures of success.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot in common. Women are we're judged more by the success of our relationships than men are. Men are judged more by the size of their pocketbook than we are.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's not. I wouldn't say like either sex has it better. It's, we have our wounds, and it's not separate. Women get judged. We get judged on our income, and men get judged too. But the core questions in culture, what it means to be a successful man and a woman, we still have like normative gender stereotypes.
Right. I agree, and you're exactly right, Morgana, when you say it's not one is better than the other. That's certainly where I did want to go with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really scary for me to just come out and say, look, women are better marketers because we have a natural emotional ability to build rapport. And that's what you need to do with your target market. Can men learn that? Absolutely. And a lot of them do. But it's just that's innate in us. So it's like we wouldn't have copywriting formatting, basically, if it wasn't for men, because they make it like, go get them, and close, and click here. You have one option. Go for it. And so they put together these structures that are really important. What's important for women to bring to the table is to just kind of weave all the fibers together so that it's got a human element to it as well.
That's a very powerful statement, that women are naturally better marketers than men.
Right. I know it is. And it is. Trust me, I get nervous for hate coming at me at any given time, but I really believe that it's true. It is, and let's not even say gender. Let's call it more of the feminine energy. It's that feminine connection that really makes the copy more human. And with social media nowadays, and just all of the connection that we have on a global level, I feel like it's more important than ever to have more compassion and more connection with one another than it's always what's in it for me. I mean, women want to know what's in it for me too, but we also want to know what's in it for my loved ones and my family.
So you're hinting towards something I'd like to actually really get into, which is how is, and nice dogs in the background, by the way. No worries. In our house, it's the cats. So how is, you were talking about how copy for men is very like warlike. I had to drop out of a mastermind because all of that gangsta, killing it language was just like so not right for my little delicate fairy princess sensibilities. So how is copy different for women? How would I write to women differently than for men?
That's a great question. It's actually very similar in that the structure is the same. You're still using persuasion. You're still going to get her attention using benefits, right? Just like you would do with a man. But what's different is with the woman, you might take a little bit longer to stretch out the opening, building that rapport, working more stories into it, because we all learn and remember with story. And again, hello, works for men too. But I'm telling you that that's one way that women, you're always going to get them in. They're more interested in general, of course, than in personalities and in successes or examples than statistics. It's actually, they've done studies on that women just don't really care that much about statistics. It's great that you increase, your bottom line by 50%, but what does that do for Susie Q and her as a single mom? How did that affect her directly? Those kinds of things are what are going to put women in, human interest aspects. And like I said again, men like that too. It's just human.
So can you write the same copy to appeal to both sexes?
You can actually, truthfully, you can take the war language kind of copy and just go all out. And this is what I do, to be honest, because I do love that style. I just recognize that it doesn't speak to at least 60% of my community. So there's no sense in doing it. But what you do when you copy, you go as far out as you can without editing yourself. This is where a lot of people get into trouble. You just go blah, 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 just write it out, type it out, however you do it, and then set it aside for 24 hours, come back and read it out loud, because that's when you're going to see where there's things that don't flow, and then start softening it up by imagining you're in the room together. Like if I'm writing copy for you, like we're talking like girlfriends, we're just chatting it up, and that's the kind of tone that I want to use in the copy. And don't be afraid to use, quotations and dialogue, things like that. Anything that makes it almost like reading for pleasure, without getting too crazy on the details on the descriptions. You don't need to use a lot of adjectives and whatnot. But the bottom line is that you just go as hard against the wall as you can, and then you imagine your avatar, the person that you want to really be talking to, and have them be in the same room with you mentally while you're writing it. It works every time.
So it sounds like it's really the building relationship piece that women are good at it in marketing.
That is exactly right. Exactly. But on so many levels. Like, remember when social media first got going, Facebook, and they're like, guys are going, why? What's the point? And women were just diving in like ducks to water, like, oh, how are you? And there's my dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, created by guys, but as if it were created by women.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it does make the use of our best asset, which is relationship building. It just comes naturally.
Yeah. And if you can do it through writing and you can do it online, it'll save you a fortune. And for us women who like to stay home and feel safe, it's like an introvert's dream.
It is, absolutely. And, women also, the internet's been great for us because we like to research. We want to know that we're getting the best bargain or the best at whatever it is that we're looking at any given time. And the internet, you can do it, what's the right word? You can do it quietly. There's a word I'm thinking of. The word that I can't come up with it. Quietly. What word am I thinking of, Morgana? It's not privately, but like a ghost, like, no, not happening now.
Sorry.
Do it from the privacy of our own home.
Yeah.
In our own time, rather than going to like a car dealership and being pressured, or going into a department store and being pressured, we get to actually study and research.
I think I heard that once years ago and totally forgot that, yeah, we do. We like to research, comparison shop, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And buy at our own pace.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when you start pushing a woman too hard to make a decision, a lot of times she'll dig her heels in and she won't do it. She'll do the exact opposite.
Well, honestly, it feels a little rapey, just like, back off.
Yes, I'll get to that when I get to that. But the problem with marketing and copywriting is if you take some of that pressure off, you take too much pressure off, then she'll just go away and go, well, I'll come back to it another day, and they don't.
Right.
So you've got to leave, it's a fine balance. You have to leave a little bit of pressure without being rapey, without, like, do this or all your children are going to die.
Oh, there's some powerful copy.
I've seen stuff like that. I've seen, like, you're the stupidest person I've ever seen because you haven't clicked on this button yet.
Oh, I've seen, yeah.
That's not going to work for me.
No. So especially for people who are, and this is a big thing where I get emails like this from time to time from coaches and healers who have these incredible talents and powers and gifts. Marketing is not one of them, and some of them really don't want to market. So how do they get started and get good at it in a way that is, for lack of better terms, really in alignment with who they are? How do they get started?
Oh, that's a great question because a lot of my community are those people too,
Mm-hmm.
the woo-woo people, right? And we love the woo-woo people,
Yeah.
but a lot of them have a hard time with money, as I know you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an attitude change, really, and just kind of embracing the fact that they are helping people, like with their crystals or their healing, that to not let people know about it is really a disservice. And I've taught a lot of the makers, the kind of healers and whatnot throughout my career. And that's the one thing we have to do is to shift the mindset first to go like, you know what, you have something really valuable to offer. And what you need to do is to shift how the person who's receiving your gift is going to feel. So what you want to do is make your message very benefit oriented. Like, so in other words, whoever it is that you're talking to, you want to focus on what their end results are going to be from your fabulous massage or from your healing. And then sometimes it's easier for them to do that. Because a lot of I guess introvert kind of gifted people, they do have a hard time tooting their own horn. And it's a mindset thing.
Well, yeah, for me, it doesn't work if it's about me or tooting my own horn. But if it's about helping somebody else and of service, my natural girly powers of codependency become my ally.
That's I love it. I love it. That's the way you frame it. Your girly powers and codependence. I love it. I'm a former people pleaser too, and I'm really trying hard to just rein that in a little bit and make sure that I take care of myself first, so that I can take care of others.
Yeah, well, you have to. You have to.
You do, but it's easy to forget.
So now that you're cured of people pleasing and all that kind of stuff, nevertheless, you have a gift. You have a gift for our audience. So can you tell us what you have?
Absolutely, yes. Let me tell you a little bit about this. It's something I don't give away all the time, but it's called Red Hot Coffee Secret Sauce to Sizzling Coffee. And what it is I told you how I started without any sort of training. I started deconstructing sales letters. Well, what this does is it's kind of a blueprint that walks you through how I did it. It's very short and it's a real good just checklist to have with you. So what you do is you scan the sales copy and then you evaluate each section of it. And I'll show you how to do that. You evaluate the opening and how you can make that good, the body and how you can make that good, and the offer. And there's also a blueprint that I paid like 10 grand to have made for one of my workshops that is a full-on sales letter, a long-form copy sales letter that shows you kind of the beats that I was talking about, the skeleton that's underneath it. And it's all in this little report, super short. It's just something to print up and keep by your desk. And the link will be on the site.
Yeah, morganaradio.com, where we will have a link to the audio, to the video, because you really, really want to see Lorrie. She's so beautiful.
My iPad did not fall.
Oh, well, but it's still good. We still have a few minutes left. And you can download all the links that we spoke about. And by the way, I think the first time I saw you speak was back in 2003 or 2004. And I had never even heard the term swipe file. I think you taught me that, which you were talking about, study what other, especially if you like it, because if it speaks to you, it's going to speak to people like you, and those are your tribes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a really great tip too, and I believe that's covered slightly in this report. But just FYI, like Morgana just said, yeah, keep keep bookmarks on copy that really speaks to you, that you like that style. And when it comes time to write your own copy, of course you're not going to steal it. You're going to model it to fit your message. And that's very highly done with copywriters. It's perfectly legitimate and acceptable as long as you're not plagiarizing words.
Yeah, don't use their words, but like, oh, they have a headline. Oh, there's a subheadline. And just take a look at the pieces and then fill it in with your own content.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. But that's something that every business owner should be doing.
Yeah. So, thank you so much. Do you have any final words of red hot wisdom before we wrap this up?
Well, my biggest one was take care of yourself first, because that's one that I keep learning and forgetting. and there's only one you, and you've got to be the best what you could be, but keep yourself healthy. And I would love it if people would drop by my site at Red Hot Coffee and check out my podcast too, because I'm just getting started and it's just been fun, and I love getting feedback from people about it. So
Yeah.
that's my wish.
Oh, and yes, go and check out Lorrie's podcast and her website, because she started not knowing any of this and learned it all by studying with the experts of that time and studying their copy and listening to what they were teaching. And now you can, she stands on the shoulders of the people before her. So especially if you're a woman or know women or sell to women, then you want to be going straight to Lorrie, because she is the trailblazer. Thank you
so much, Morgana. This was fabulous. I had so much fun.
Me too. It's always nice to see you.
You too, honey. Take care. Talk to you soon.